sincere learning destination wherein we provide the classes for grade 1 to grade 10. Right? So how is it sincere? Come on, let's have a look. It's sincere because from here you will be getting 100% live interactive classes. How live and interactive? So you will be connecting to your teachers through audio and video calls in real time, and you can discuss your doubts and study your lessons over there. Then we have personalized attention batch with maximum to maximum 6 students in every batch so that we can focus on you and your growth. You will always have a dedicated mentor team to track your progress, to look after you and to guide you through the same. And we also cover your syllabus as per your school exam schedule. So what will happen? You'll improve in there also, and we also handle custom requests. Alright then, what are the key features of Swiflearn? Let's have a look. The key features include, first of all, the detailed progress report, which will include every chapter that you attempt in your test and your score there. Then we have Swiflearn academic test series, wherein you can compete with thousands of students of your age and you can improve accordingly. You can also take unlimited practice tests and also the subjective test for school exams so that you can practice answer writing. Okay, so what are you waiting for, guys? Just go to Swiflearn and book your very free trial class. Yeah, so the first trial class for you is absolutely free, wherein you can see how the classes are conducted over there. And before beginning the video, I would just like to request you all to kindly subscribe to the channel of Swiflearn and press the bell icon so that you don't miss on any update. So today our lesson is physical and chemical changes. Okay, it's our very first session of physical and chemical change, and we are going to learn about what is the meaning of physical and chemical changes. Let's see now. What are the things that we are going to cover in today's chapter? First of all, we are going to learn what is even meant by a change. Okay, then we are going to learn a bit about physical change and chemical change and what is the difference between both. Okay, and various type of other changes which occur in the nature. So let's quickly start. If I tell you, can you see this picture and tell me what is happening over here? Yeah, the usual answer will be the candle is burning and the ice is melting to form water. Is there any change which is happening? Yes, obviously. When we are burning a candle, when the ice is changing to water, there is a change happening. Okay, so if I talk about candle burning, okay, what observation can we have? First of all, the size of candle, it will decrease over a period of time. Yes, so जो candle का size है, it will gradually decrease, and at the end we will have the candle being disappeared. Okay, so it will gradually decrease and finish. Right. Next, let's talk about second experiment. So if I tell you about ice melting to form water, what will happen? What is the observation that we get? The ice, it starts slowly disappearing and it changes into water. Okay, but what happens? The volume of the water, the volume of the ice, it remains same. Yeah, because it is only the shape that has changed, this change of state that has occurred. No volume change has occurred. Okay, so what is this? It is a change. And substances, various substances, they undergo very wide variety of changes. Okay, some changes they take place immediately, and some changes they take place gradually, they take a bit longer time, and some changes they take place after years and years, like the change takes place after 1,000 years also. Yeah, so what is a change? I'm talking about the substances being changed. First of all, let's know the definition of what is meant by a change. Let's see. So change is the process of becoming something different. Okay, from one substance to another substance, if it is changing, it is known as change. Okay, so the process of becoming something different, it is known as change. Even if I talk about ourselves, right? So if we are changing, it is what? The process of changing ourselves is what? Becoming someone different. Similarly, if I talk about substances, if I talk about things, when they change from one thing to another, that is described or defined as a change. So what are some of the common example of changes that we see in our daily lives? Come on. So it can be raw vegetables being cooked. Yes. It can be water turning into ice. Yes. It can be the change of day to night, night to day. Right. So these are some of the common changes that we normally see in our daily life. Okay. So what are the different type of changes that we have? We can have slow and fast change. We can have reversible and irreversible change. It can be natural or man-made change, desirable or undesirable change, and the last one is periodic and non-periodic change. So let's see what are these kind of changes one by one. Chalo. If I talk about slow and fast change, what is slow change? Rusting of iron, because iron, it takes a bit of time to rust. Okay, it cannot just have this reaction in 1 or 2 minutes. It will gradually, the layer of rust will be formed. Okay, and if I talk about fast changes, it will be burning of paper. Like you burn a paper and within seconds it is over. So it is the example of fast change. Next, if I talk about natural and man-made change. So what is natural change? The change in the environment, the season changes, the weather changes. So that is not controlled and that cannot be controlled by humans. But if I talk about man-made change, it is global warming. Yes, we are responsible for global warming. So it is known as man-made change. Next, periodic and non-periodic change. So periodic means what? Occurring after a particular interval of time. So if I talk about day and night, yes, they are periodic change. Yeah, because they occur after a particular interval of time. And non-periodic change, it is movement of legs while dancing. So whenever we dance, we don't pick up our right leg and left leg periodically. Okay, it's free. So freestyle. So non-periodic changes means movement of legs while dancing. Next, let's go for desirable and undesirable change. So what's meant by desirable? Which we are doing, which we are liking, okay, which we desire for. So if I talk about formation of curd from milk, that comes under the category of what? Desirable change, because we are doing it, right? We want to form a curd, that is why we are doing it. Next, if I talk about undesirable change, so nobody wants the vegetables to be spoiled, so that becomes undesirable change. Even if you don't want it, the change occurs. Okay. Next, we see reversible and irreversible change. So what is reversible change? It can be reversed. Okay, it can be reversed to form that product again. So if I say melting of ice, yes, it is reversible. How? Because if ice is changed to water, it can again be changed to ice by freezing it. So it can be reversed. And if I talk about irreversible change, that is burning of fuel. So once a fuel is burned, we cannot obtain the fuel again, right? So that is why it is said to preserve our fuels, right? Okay. Now let's talk about broad categorization of changes. They can be classified into physical change and second, chemical change. Okay. Now we are going to study in detail about what is meant by physical and what is meant by chemical change. Acha. Now let's see first of all about physical change. Physical change means a change in which there is no new substance forming. कोई भी नया substance नहीं found हो रहा है. Okay. All right. Samreen, I'm sorry dear, what you can do is you can just go to Swiflearn and you can book your trial class. You will be guided to your particular teacher, so you can have a talk with your teachers at that time. Okay, so you just need to download the app of Swiflearn and you can book your trial class. You can question all the queries that you have and you'll get every answer. Okay, yes. So now let's talk about physical changes. So the physical change, as I was telling you, there is no new substance which is formed. Okay, it occurs when there is change in state, size, shape, color of substance. Okay, कोई भी नया substance नहीं बन रहा है, बस उसी substance में कुछ कुछ changes हुए जा रहे हैं, right? Like if I say boiling of water, so what is boiling of water? Only the water is changing gradually to the steam. Yes, so there is no new substance being formed and hence it is a physical change. If I talk about shredding of paper, अगर हम paper cut कर रहे हैं तो क्या हो रहा है? Gradually size decrease हो रहा है paper का, right? The size of paper is decreasing, but there is nothing like a new substance is formed, right? Even if I talk about breaking a glass, so glass breaking, it it converts itself into small pieces of glass, but there is no new substance being formed and hence they are all physical changes. तो physical change basically क्या होगा? Change हो रहा है shape में, size में, color में, right? But कोई भी नया substance नहीं form हो रहा है. That accounts for a physical change. Now if I talk about chemical change, what is meant by chemical changes? There is a new substance being formed. Okay, जो raw material है उससे एक नया substance form हो रहा है. That is known as chemical change. For example, if I say burning of fuel, okay, so burning of fuel, it is leading to formation of a new substance, right? If I talk about cooking, okay, there is again new substance, yeah, cooked vegetables, yeah, so that is again a chemical change. And formation of curd, so when we convert milk to curd, that is again a chemical change. Okay, then let's go for physical and chemical change. We can classify. So if I talk about rusting of iron, there is this new oxide layer which is formed, right? So it becomes a chemical change. Yes. Then if I talk about blowing the balloons, let's see. So a physical change, what happens? First of all, it's a temporary change. Okay, so we just now saw blowing of balloon. So what happens? There is no new substance which is being formed, है ना? और जो chemical composition है वो भी same ही है. Okay, so if I talk about melting of ice, blowing of balloon, so there is no new substance which is forming, okay, and no new chemical which is forming, right? So they account for physical change. But if I talk about chemical change, so we saw in rusting of iron, what is chemical change? First of all, it is slow, okay, and it is permanent. Okay, the new substances are being formed in the chemical change. Okay, and the properties are different. Like if I talk about iron nail, there is this oxide layer which is formed on the iron nail after the rusting. Okay, so that accounts for a chemical change. Okay, so burning of candle and rusting of iron nails, they are chemical changes. Now let's talk about some more examples. Okay, if I talk about water being boiled, what is meant by this? If I talk about water being boiled, when we boil the water, what happens? The water, it gradually turns to steam, yeah, and it is a physical change. Why? Because there is no new substance being formed. सिर्फ जो water है वो steam में change हो रहा है धीरे धीरे, but कोई नया substance नहीं बन रहा है, and that is why it is a physical change. अच्छा, now let's talk about burning a piece of paper. तो जो पेपर है अगर हम उसे बर्न करते हैं, what happens? It produces carbon dioxide and the ash, right? So we cannot get that ash and carbon dioxide, we cannot convert it into paper again. So that is a chemical change because it is leading to formation of new substances. So what is the basic difference between physical and chemical changes? अगर हम physical change की बात करें, if I talk about physical changes, so there is no new substance which is formed. Okay, and it can be reversed. Yeah, we can very easily reverse it. Like if I talk about piece of ice, it is melting to form liquid and then we can again turn it. Okay, so it is a temporary change also. And if I talk about chemical change, there are new substances with new properties being formed, right? And they cannot be reversed easily by physical methods. Okay, and it is a permanent change. So we saw it in rusting of iron, we saw it in the paper, burning of paper. So these are the chemical changes which lead to formation of new substances. Now, if I talk about formation of curd, what happens? If we add a little amount of curd to a bowl containing warm milk, and if we keep it undisturbed for some time, it will lead to formation of curd. So this is again a chemical change in which there is change of change of properties of a material, of a substance. Okay, then let's see about this question. Ignited matchstick is brought near the mouth of test tube containing hydrogen gas. So what will happen if we bring a burning matchstick towards the mouth of test tube which contains hydrogen gas? What happens? The hydrogen, it will burn at this mouth of the test tube, okay, and we will be getting a blue flame, blue colored flame, and it will burn with a pop sound. Okay, so it is a chemical change because hydrogen has burned and we got a sound, pop sound. So let's revise what we have learned today. These are some of the questions that we're going to do. A new substance, it is always formed in which change? It's formed in the chemical change. Okay. Melting of ice. What kind of change is melting of ice? It is a physical change because we can get it again. Okay, and it okay. Then we have burning of fuel. Burning of fuel, it leads to formation of new substances which eventually it becomes a chemical change. Growing of seedling into plant. So again, this is a chemical change. Why? Because there are various reactions which takes place, and finally the seed, it changes to a big plant. Okay, so there are various processes that take place. So it will again be chemical change. Now, earthquake is a desirable change? Obviously no one would like to have these earthquakes and natural calamities, so it is undesirable change. And burning of paper is temporary change. Again false. We cannot turn it into paper again once it is converted to carbon dioxide and ash. So it's a permanent change. Yeah, so value-based question for today. Sarita was helping her mother in kitchen work. Notice that the slices of potato and brinjal have acquired a brown color. She asked her mother reason behind this change. Her mother said, whenever we keep cut pieces of these vegetables open for a long time, they acquire such color. So I think every one of you might have noticed some of the times when we cut the vegetables and keep it like that, or maybe apples. Yeah, this thing I think every one of you might have noticed. What happens when we cut the apple and keep it for a particular period of time? There is this brown colored layer which it accumulates over the surface of the apple. Okay, so why does this happen? Let's see. Are cutting vegetables and change in color physical or chemical change? So first of all, if I talk about cutting vegetable, it is a physical change. Okay, there is no new substance which is formed. Okay, does this brown coloration indicate the vegetables are spoiled? Can we reverse this process and why? So it is not that vegetables are spoiled. It is just that when we cut the vegetables, they react, they react with certain enzymes, and then it acquires the brown color. Okay, so what happens whenever the cut vegetables, they are exposed to air, they react with certain enzymes, and hence the color changes, and we cannot reverse this process. Okay, and what value of Sarita is being shown here? Like, she is helping her mother, so her nature is helpful, and she is also inquiring about certain things, so she is thoughtful. Okay, alright, so fun fact, lightning strikes produce ozone, hence the characteristic smell after lightning storms. Okay, so because of the production of ozone, there is this particular smell which we sometimes get after the lightning strikes. Every hydrogen atom in our body is likely 13.5 billion years old because they were created at the birth of universe. Okay, so when the universe was born, there were these hydrogen atoms which were created, and in our body the hydrogen atoms which are present, they are 13.5 billion years ago. So you can imagine how long time it has been. There are only two non-silvery metals, copper and gold. Okay, and what's the challenge of the day? Let's see. Why is the burning of candle considered to be a chemical change? So burning of candle, it is considered to be a chemical change because there are new products being formed. Okay, but if I say melting of a candle, that will be a physical change, because in melting of wax, sorry. So in that thing, what is happening? Only the wax is melted, right? So melting is again a physical change, but burning, it's a chemical change. Now let's go for an activity. Okay, so melting is when solid converts to liquid after heating. It is what kind of change? So when a solid converts to liquid after heating, it's a physical change. Next, the process of conversion of liquid to its vapor state at a temperature below its boiling point. So it is termed as evaporation. Next, the process of conversion of liquid to vapor state, it is known as melting. No, it is evaporation. Oh, I'm sorry, it's false. And then the fixed temperature at which freezing takes place, it is known as freezing point. Yeah, so yeah. Now, what are the things that we've covered today? First of all, we learned about what is meant by changes. Whenever one substance is changing or it's converting to another, it is termed as change. We learned about physical and chemical change. So let me quickly take you through what's physical and chemical change. So in physical change, there is no new formation of substance. Okay, and in chemical change, we get new products. Okay, physical change, it can be, we can say the example, it can be boiling of water, okay, melting of ice. And chemical change, it will be burning of paper, rusting of iron. Okay, so distinguish between physical and chemical change, that is the thing that we covered. And we also saw various type of changes, okay, like desirable, undesirable, periodic, non-periodic, physical, chemical, reversible, irreversible, etc. So I hope you might have understood everything that we learned today. Okay, and let's meet in next session with some more things about the changes. Till then, keep revising, keep learning, and you can also go through the various playlists which are available in the Swiflearn channel, YouTube channel. Okay, so there are various subjects playlists which are available over here. There you can go and see and can learn with every passing day. Okay, so let's meet in the next session. Till then, keep studying, take care of yourself, and bye bye.